So now we're going to go over the Solar 3.0 build. A lot of people point out if you don't have Classy Restoration unlocked, you're probably going to be using this helmet. But the reason why I don't use this helmet is because I have it unlocked. And if you're kind of doing like strong endgame, you probably should have that mod unlocked. I don't like using this helmet because it takes away the barricade. The way my build is set up, when my restoration goes away, I have 5 seconds that I don't have a tall wall. So I always want it, and I demonstrated that in the damage sequence. When I'm damaging the boss, I always want to have a tall wall. So if you don't have Classy Restoration, you should get it unlocked, because I like running Synthoceps more, just because when I'm surrounded by enemies, no matter what endgame content I'm doing, the hammer's doing more. And also, you know, you run Tractor and you buff your own damage. So why do I use Elemental Charge? Well, Elemental Charge works with Melee Wellmaker. When I bonk an enemy, it drops Elemental Well, and when I pick that up, I become Charged with Light. Charged with Light's going to buff my damage. So when I'm going into damage phases, you're Charged with Light. If I wasn't running a build for DPS, I would run Elemental Ordnance. My nades make wells, and I would take off High Energy Fire, and I would put on Font of Might to charge my weapons for like everyday use, and I still have the Well of Life on to give me health. But this is just for DPS purposes. So we got the Melee Wellmaker to work with Elemental Charge and make sure I always stay charged with light, so I get the High Energy Fire. If I have to kill an enemy with a gun, I hope I have an enemy around to hit with the hammer, so I get my Charge with Light back. You have Well of Life to get your health back when you pick up those orbs, and obviously I have Classy Restoration on. So why do I run what I run here? Even though I love the new Titan Melee, you give bonk with sunspots and it's kind of broken. And your Roaring Flames, when you stack that up to ×3 with your Synthoceps on and your bonk hammer and your debuffs with Tractor and everything, you just become a unit. The reason why I use Ember of Torches is because every time I throw that hammer, I become radiant, and so does my teammates. Also, every time I throw that hammer, it keeps restoration and radiant going for longer duration. That is huge. Ember of Ashes, apply more scorch stacks to targets. That's just huge with flames everywhere. And defeating scorched targets grants melee energy. It also gives me 10 recov. This could be swapped out for something else, but this is what I've just been running, just in case if I lose the hammer, because I usually stay utility kickstart here just to get my tall wall back. You could always take that aspect or the fragment off, and you could put on an arc class item and do this 1-2 finisher. This is going to work for all classes. If you hit a finisher, it literally gives you your melee back. So your snap, your knives. This is the Titan timeout finisher mod right here. But again, I like using a stasis because I can also put on something like time dilation. If I'm using Font of Might, use it for whatever you want. So that's kind of like the build I've been going with. I prefer Synthoceps over the Loreley helmet. Again, if you don't have this unlocked, you need to go get it. Stop what you're doing. Go do challenges. Go do your weekly challenges. Do bounties. I've been farming the dungeon, getting crazy XP. All this rank 77 has been me doing the dungeon. For some reason, I feel like the dungeon encounters, when you're farming them, you get a lot of XP. So Titan 3.0 busted.